Hey, what's going on, everyone? Crystal Lake Fridays. Let's bring the light back. Oh, there we go. I really need a light in my face for streams, but we are here. OG. Mr. Matthews and Nerd off the top. How's it going, guys? Mr. I is in the room, too. I'm just going to catch that and bring it back up, and we should be good now. Hopefully, the stream is good for the night. I'm actually just going to bring my studio up so I can keep an eye on it while we're streaming. But yes, it's Friday, GD. It's GD Friday. Let's get to it. I'm ready to play. It's going to be nice to play a different game this week than GD Back to the Future 1 or 2 and 3. So, actually, I was playing a bunch of games today to break up the monotony of that. But I'm ready for some Friday the 13th. I'm ready to kill some counselors. Let's get into it. OG said, got stream en route. On big screen, I can see chat and laboriously respond. All good, OG. Always glad that you're able to make it, like I said in the chat, along with everybody else. We've got the blonde bomber is snoring or farting. I'm not too sure. I'm just going to mute them, and we're going to wait for players. Good thing I've got my improv game on point tonight, because sometimes you definitely need it with this game. But yeah, woohoo, old game references. Yep. But I was going to start recording a bit of gameplay of the Back to Futures tonight, but I just didn't get to it. I just wanted to chill and play better games. All right. Let's just make sure we're here. And the game is glitched already. First game, we're glitched. Which is okay, because we would have been Chad. We don't want to be Chad yet. Let's go this way. OG says kill, kill, kill. And M says, Pete, I totally understand. There's only so much bad gaming a person can take. Uh-oh. We might be watching a lot of this one. Nerd says, this guy looks like Tommy Chong. This is the hippie from part 3. Mitch, and I can't remember what his girlfriend's name was. Like, don't have a cow, man. The one who gets the poker. She gets the poker, and he gets the electrical. He gets electrocuted in the basement when there's water, and he's looking at the old nudie photo. Oh, Jesus, Toke up, man. And M says, my feelings won't be hurt if you decline to comment, but are you planning to play Jaws? It could be in there. There's so many movies that I could join with the 8-bit or 16-bit game era, so it's on the list. But I've decided to focus for once and actually try to get some gameplay footage together and build a proper video, which I haven't done in quite some time. Why you gotta pick on the hippie, man? Just leave him alone. Just trying to, like, chill out and get stoned, man. Mr. I says, I just finished watching a few clips of Darkness. Nice. I wonder what Joe Bob's gonna have on the drive-in tonight. Look, he's after me again. Look, I'm just trying to get high, man. Can't a hippie just smoke a couple and, like, chill out? That's not a broken door. He's been after me the entire game. That's just some scrub leaving the door open. Oops. There we go. I think they finally left us alone. Let's see what's going on. Nothing. Hopefully is it. No maps. No maps. Door's still open. Not the way to be. Not the way to be. Need a map. Mr. Matthews says, isn't this guy's girlfriend a character in the game? No, they did it in the cutscenes that AJ was his girlfriend, which she kind of looks like. It's kind of a mix of that character and the Violet character from Part 5, who was like the new wave dancer who was dancing to like the weird robot music and dancing like a robot. But I can't remember what the other girl's name was. It wasn't AJ. So I think it was a blend of. Alright. Well, they're all going that way. So let's say we go the other way and try to get to the boat. Just make sure I'm pointing the right way and head towards the boat. Nerd says, hippies deserve to die. And Mr. I said, I had some quinoa chicken today, worst tasting meal ever. Mr. Matthews says, quinoa sucks. And Mr. I says, tasted like warm cardboard. If you put the right seasoning on quinoa, it's not the worst, but you really got to cover it. Like, really got to cover it. Mr. Matthews says, I like to pronounce it quinoa. It really irritates my wife. But I've had bowls like that, Mr. I, like from the supermarket for lunch out. For like lunchtime while I'm at work, throwing in the microwave. Quick thing. Not today, though. Today was Burger Friday. Which it usually is. And for work, for lunch at work as well. So I can't say what I had today tasted like cardboard, but I know the feeling. That's for sure. Mr. I says, so nasty. I can imagine it, especially if you get the wrong recipe. Really? 3 RBs in a row? When is that ever a thing? Mitch is going for the boat. Let's rest a bit and try to get to that cabin over there. And hope the boat part is in there. Mr. I says, on the plus side, I had a delicious iced coffee and bagel and cream cheese. Nice. Iced coffee is sweet. I usually get what Tim Hortons up here makes iced cappuccinos. So the same thing, but just a bit more shredded ice rather than actual ice cubes. So I really love those. Those are like my weekend jam, and I had one of them today while I was at work as well. But I'll definitely have a few of them tomorrow. It's a long weekend up here in Canada. Monday is Victoria Day. Celebrating one of the queens of England. We're still somewhat a colony in that aspect. We do not have the boat part. Mr. I says, for breakfast from Dunkin' Donuts. Nice. I always go to Tim Hortons here, or as we Canadians like to call it, Timmy's. So that's my go-to in the morning. I usually get like a breakfast sandwich with bacon and egg on it. That sort of thing. The coffee is not the greatest, I gotta be completely honest. But the food is. The food's pretty good. And specialty coffees aren't bad. Like the ice cap. Mr. Matthews says, did anyone's restaurant open this week? They're starting to open up again. We're still open. I don't think we're able to go in, but we've been open for a couple weeks now where you can order it. That's what I've usually been ordering on Friday nights. I'll get like delivery here, or I think they're offering pickup now. First it was only you could do delivery, but now I think they're offering pickup as well. Mr. Matthews says, my wife and I are definitely going to partake. Do it, man. Do it. Gotta have something. Gotta have something during all this time, that's for sure. Like I was saying the other day in the Discord, or I think we were talking about it today, a lot more retail is going to open this week. So no malls or anything like that, but anything as long as it's curbside or where you can access the street from it, those places are going to open. But no restaurants for me this weekend. Well, maybe Sunday. But Saturday is definitely going to be barbecue. It's supposed to be like 19 degrees here, which off the top of my head, I can't remember what that is. I want to say it's like the low 80s, maybe the high 70s in Fahrenheit. So I'm ready for that. Today was very warm, but it rained. It was pissing down today. Got nicer in the evening, but tomorrow is supposed to be really nice. Mr. S says, I'm funny with coffee, for instance, like Starbucks iced coffee from the grocery store. I like Starbucks iced coffee from the grocery store, but not their iced coffee on location. Gotcha. I haven't had Starbucks iced coffee in a while. When I used to go there, I used to just get an Americano and put a disgusting amount of sugar in. I gotta admit, I was jacked. Literally jacked for a couple hours after that. I should do a stream after one of those. I would definitely not be as laid back as I seem. OG says, just takeout so far. Mr. Matthews says, I've heard some restaurants are actually opening to dine in, and it's been so successful they have stopped doing takeout. Nice, I like to hear that. I like to hear that. It is about the social aspect of going out as well. Everybody can take precautions of what's going on. We can wear masks if needed. But geez, can't prevent social creatures from not being able to socialize occasionally. And I gotta say, I'm hearing it all the time at work now and in the media. This new normal term, and this I'm gonna give my one swear right now, pisses me the fuck off. That's my one F bomb for the night. But this new normal term triggers me to the max. Yeah, let's just put up with everything changing without a whisper. Don't complain at all. Just, be more resilient. Yeah. As in, bomb more like a friggin' sheep. Go back in your flock until it's time for you to be shaved of your supplies. Jason has left. End rant, by the way. Mr. Matthews says we'll get our long weekend here in a couple weeks. You're going to barbecue OG. It's mandatory. Oh, yeah. You guys have... Is it Memorial Day in May? Memorial Day? Am I right about that? Mr. I says, I'm in no rush to go dine out. Nerd says, the last time I had Starbucks was years ago when it first opened here, and it was a white chocolate mocha. OG says, see what Kathy wants. I'm flexible. Nice. Could always make steak and cornbread. Something like that. More ribs, OG. And M says, I refuse to let this be normal. This is abnormal. I know. It's just accepting for it to happen again. That's the new normal. Is just setting us up to accept it for the next time it happens. That's all it is. You can be prepared and understanding. I'm not debating that, but just accepting, like, this is it. Like, this is now our life. Are you an individual, or are you just an automaton? Are you just a robot? Are you just a worker robot to get up, go in, do your thing, and go home and not say boo? Like, come on. Give me a break. And the people that are saying this new normal are people who are high up top. The article that I saw at work today was from a professor at U of T, like a tenured professor. Like, what do we have in common? Like, how do you know what existence is like? Come on. Come on, or duet, whichever you prefer. Anyways, Mr. I says, and I agree with safety precautions. I'm not an idiot. I'm no idiot Trump protester. OG says, I got pod coffee maker for Christmas. Yum. Nice. Nice OG. Kerrigs and stuff like that are good. Dig those things. And I'm all about the safety stuff, Mr. I. I'm not debating the whole thing about it. I've talked about it on other streams and on here and on other channels. I'm not going to debate that, but just how we're handling it on both sides. Memorial Day is correct. I thought so. I know my Americas. I know my Americas. It's part of that. I talked about it before, I think, on the stream, that we have Canadians have a bit of a minority complex when it comes to dealing with America. I will fully admit it. I have no shame in admitting it because I've gone beyond it, and I've accepted that we're both neighbors and we both do things differently. Some things are done better than others somewhere. I don't know. I don't get what it is. I'm not a Trudeau supporter. I've made that absolutely clear. OG says, we will overcome all this soon. Over 100 vaccines in progress, 10 in human trials. I agree, OG. I totally agree. As long as it's not Bill Gates' stuff, I'm on board. Mr. Matthews says, safety precautions are fine. I'm not okay with completely locking down society. Agreed. Agreed. That's what we should have done from the beginning. Safety precautions should have been taken from the beginning, rather than locking it down. OG says, agree, M. And Mr. Matthews says, Pete, you're out of uniform. Oh, I am. Oh, I know. I'm not talking about work because I'm still at work. It's just something that came up that I noticed that I was not too well positioned to read. Let's just put it that way. Because it applies outside as well. It applies to all of us. And I heard Bill Maher talking about it the other day. OG says, there's my girl. Deborah is in the house. Let's go, Deborah. Let's do this. Oh, no, I know. I forgot to change, Mr. Matthews. We're going to have a pause. And I know I'm not wearing my normal Jason shirt. I'm just wearing the Star Wars shirt I was chilling at before. I know. Thank you for calling me on it. I felt lax as soon as I was starting the stream. That's why I said whoops. I was like, let's go. Let's go. But I got to admit, the game I have in the back is not on a demo. It's in a position where the game is playing itself and I haven't died yet, so I failed at one thing and I succeeded at another by fluke. OG says no. We'll get to it, Adam. We'll get to it, OG. We will get to it. I'll take a break after I finish breaking through so many windows, and I'll throw the shirt on. I will have to. I'll run out of the room, change quickly, and be right back. Mr. Matthews said Dan Crenshaw did a pretty good job checking Bill Maher. I love that guy. Me too, man. Dan Crenshaw is awesome. And he did. I saw that same interview.
Anyone out there, you have to come to Camp Crystal Lake. Bring a gun. Oh, God. He's killing us. Help! Help!
Well, at least I contributed. Well, let's focus in the game. Car keys, there we go. That's what we need. We need items. We need some items. There's a battery up there. You can do this, Deborah. Oh. Adam quit because he didn't like where he started, apparently.
Holy shit! Is that a dead body?
Oops. Pick the battery up. Thanks for getting my fear up, though, bud. People who quit shouldn't trigger the character's fear. Somebody quits the game, they quit the game. Uh-oh. Oh geez, or Mr. I says, I've never been a fan of Keurig coffee. I prefer traditional brew. I go back and forth. I had a Keurig. I got one for Christmas a couple years ago, but it was huge. It was a little too big for my place, so I ended up selling it. But I didn't mind it, that's for sure. Sometimes it's just nice to have the K-cup or whatever to throw it in there, just get it ready in seconds. But I agree with you, Mr. I, as well. It's nice to have a good, like, a regular brew as well. All depends on how much time you're working with or how much time you're willing to invest in it. Oh no, Eclipse by Metal left. First aid spray, sweet. Yeah, we'll leave the axe in case they want to kill Jason. So nobody else has done anything apparently. Mr. Matthews says what I actually really like about Crenshaw is that he's open-minded. He is a Republican for sure, but he's not opposed to considering the points of the other side. Well, that's what a good politician should be, or just a good person in general. Being able to see both sides of the argument. That's what Canadians were famous for at one time, or being flip-floppers. No matter which way you'd like to term what it was, but you know, sometimes it's okay to see the middle ground. Not everything is black or white.
It actually fit.
Mr. I says we had several Keurigs in the office. The coffee was nothing to write home about. But I like the ones where you could load your own. Like there was the self pod, so you could put your own. Really? I tried to jump out the window, guys. Didn't make it. At least he's honest. I suck as Jason. So yeah, when I had the Keurig, I used up what I had bought, but then I used the pods and I just filled it with my own. Inti, what's going on? Inti says, hello, everybody. OG says, I'm really enjoying my pod coffee and cappuccino and hot cocoa in seconds. Instead of a whole pot when I only drink a cup. See, that's what I mean, OG, as well. If you're only going to drink one, if you're not with someone who drinks a lot, if you're a big-time coffee drinker, then I can understand having the whole pot. But if you only want one now and again, and the other people that live in your house, whether you be your girlfriend or your wife, or whatever you choose, if they don't drink coffee, or they loathe coffee, then the personal Keurig makes sense. Actually, I had the full size. That's why I had the personal would be perfect, but I've been given the full size, and it was just too big. Didn't use it enough.
Holy shit! Is that a dead body?
Inti says, Crenshaw's cool because he looks like Big Boss. That is true as well. That is true, Inti. Okay, guys, I'm going to be right back. We're watching Soxy Disarray, TTV. Mr. Matthews is asking Inti if he has any experience with Back to the Future on NES. We might have been playing it like crazy this week, Inti. After the stream, because we were talking about it last week. Nope. This person is the last person alive. Soxy Disarray. Mr. I said we actually had the different K-Cups in the office, but it was not just the same. Tasted watery. I hear that. Because I don't think with the K-Cup, I think you can add more, but you can't control the level that you put in. OG says, nice shirt. Thank you, OG. I want to change it. Add the change. It had to be prepared for the stream. Everything else went well. My microphone was on. The stream went okay. I figured out what was going on with my stream. My VPN was killing my internet speed for some reason. Because I didn't, the next day after the last stream, when we were having the issues, I did a test, and my speed was way lower than it should have been, so I called my internet company. They're like, do you have a VPN on? Maybe. Tried the test without the VPN on. Boom! Like through the roof. I'm like, alright. Now we know. Mr. Matthews says, much better. Now it's a real Crystal Lake stream. I wasn't sure before. Exactly. And now I'm going to be focused. I can already feel I'm focusing a bit more, Em, because I was so lackadaisical before. I was like, oh, we're Mitch, and oh, yeah, Deborah. Oh, look, we're dead. This time I'm going to try a bit more. I'm going to put a bit more effort into it. And he says, yes, some kid lent it to me for Super Mario 3 for a weekend, if I remember correctly. That is a game whose reputation is correct. One of the worst got stuck at the cafe. OG says, use less water. My pods are yummy. And Mr. Matthews says, that's what she said. That's what for Inti to go back to the Future. That's what I originally thought.
Fuck you!
But then Em and I were like trying to play it this weekend, and I continued on. It's actually not a bad game, and I was able to beat it. Well, one technically beat it. I left the game at 86 miles per hour, and they didn't let me win. So I went back the next day, played it again, and I won the game. So, and now I'm trying to continue to play it, so I can do a video on it. I'd like to be able to get a speed run, but I don't think so. After the dance, it just all falls apart. I can pretty much speed run now to the dance with maybe one life lost. If I'm lucky, two at the most. But then, boom, done. But yeah, I've been watching a ton of The Office again, Nem, so. The reference definitely works. Mr. I says, you don't control the amount of water a character uses on a pod, only the cup size. Well, there you go. You could use a smaller cup.
Okay, all set. Time to get out of here.
Mr. Matthews says, Inti, I played it and I played it this weekend, and I almost got to the point where I thought its reputation was deserved, and that PG Resolve was better. My hat was off to you, sir. I was right there, man. I was right there at that point, especially after I got the 86 miles per hour, and I was like, for a moment, I thought of just leaving it. Like I said in the Discord, I said, I officially have cleared this game. I'm not going back, and I said, damn it, I got to finish this game. And now I'm starting. I think the bees are the main problem in the later stages, and they're all random, and they have 3 randomizers from what I've seen. And you really just got to memorize the patterns. It's just hard in the last couple streets because there's like 5 or 6 damn bees. And Nerd says it's Wabbit season. It is, but it looks like the Wabbit's gonna get away this time. She's driving my Monza. Should have done a better job. Mr. I says, trust me, I've used that trash for over a year when I was working in the office. Kegs are preloaded with water before the cup is inserted. Inti says, I never liked it, but it's not the worst LGN game. That would be X-Men for the NES, in my opinion. Yeah, that is a pretty bad game. OG says, mine is 1 cup Walmart brand of add less water to make it stronger. Mr. I says, cup size won't matter. We had mini cups at the office and it was still nasty. LOL. Well, OG digs it, Mr. I doesn't, but that's what it's about. Like, don't have to agree on everything. It's good that we like different things. OG says cheaper is better sometimes. Oh, I hear you on that, OG. I hear you on that. Mr. Matthews says The Office has some of the best written characters to appear on TV up until the end when they screwed up Andy. Andy was good when he came back. When they first brought him on, I thought he was a little too much. But when they toned him down and brought him back, I thought he was a really good character. Uh-oh. Now we're in a waiting game as well. And Inti says, I haven't played that game in a long time. Neither had I, so we decided to pick it back up. Mr. Matthews says, I love the dichotomy of Dwight's character being such an a-hole and pretty much hated by the entire office, but he's actually a really good person. Yep. Because they don't really understand. They don't understand him. But when they do see that, they like when Pam or Jim sees that, then they actually feel remorse for how much they've picked on him because they say that but he can be really over the top as well sometimes. But you're right. Dwight is easily the best character. But there's so many good other ones in there. So many good other characters. Toby, Kevin. OG says Mr. I has used the wrong machine. Sad. Mr. I said, my middle name is Frugal. Well, nice. I can hear that, that's for sure. I was trying to do a Kijiji deal this week. We were talking about this earlier in the Discord about retro games. I forgot to mention that I was trying to do a Kijiji deal for like 7 or 8 SNES games that were case in box. And he had, I already have some of the titles, but he had some that I still wanted to put into my collection. And we got to the point where he was showing me pictures, and I said, hey, what are you looking for these? And he said, there's the price is on there. And I'm like, is that the firm price? Are you willing to take a little bit more? Because I haven't been able to look at the things, and they weren't tested. So I'm like, I wouldn't be comfortable at this price. I'd be more comfortable at this price. And the guy said, the price is the price. I'm like, okay. Right now is not the time to negotiate. Let's just put negotiation on the back burner. I'm not sure what's going on with the game tonight, but we'll play some offline bots until we can actually get a full game going. Because there's always times during the night when there's less people playing for some reason, or just less access to the servers, who knows. So we'll get a nice bot run in. OG says, it's nice to have a dozen flavors. Mr. I says, you're right. I did use the wrong machine. That would be the Keurig machine. I got to use a real coffee maker. Oh! OG and Mr. I going back and forth. Love it. OG says, you pour only the water you want per cup. Oh, there you go. You put less in the machine. And Mr. Matthews says, Kevin was one of my favorites. Kevin is awesome.
They shouldn't be here.
Scrantonicity. And we are Scrantonicity 2. That has nothing to do with Scrantonicity 1. Screw those guys. OG says mine was my Christmas present with a Christmas present with pods. Nothing cheaper, nice. And Mr. I says, dude, I still have my stimulus check in the bank. LOL, that's how frugal I am. I hear you, man. I hear you. I did the same thing with this year in Canada. Well, this last year. Then with the whole COVID thing. For COVID thing, they gave some benefits as well. They're still extending them for a couple more months, actually. But my prime minister loves to throw money around like crazy. But back off one of those rants. I think I talked about it last week. There was something to do with uncashed checks and or uncollected previous year checks, and I got one from a couple of years ago, and I still haven't spent any of the money. And OG says, me too, me too, me too. I think a lot of us are. A lot of us here on the stream. It's one of the things that bring us together. Nice try, Adam. Damn pocket knives. Damn pocket knives.
Cannot die. You can never die.
Oh, he went back in the cabin. There we go. Take that. Oh, yeah. Adam. Mr. I says, and I... Whoop, hold on.
Don't stop, Jason. They deserve to die. Make them suffer.
The group, they're trying to take me out.
Don't let them.
Come back here. Brandon. Yeah, terrible shot. Should practice. Gives me a good chance to practice my throwing knives.
Please, no!
Oh, come on.
Find them.
Took too long. Getting my butt kicked by bots. Time to regroup. Mr. Matthews says, and I really didn't like Andy at all, but honestly became one of my favorites too. When they started making him sympathetic, then they ripped it all away, pretty much. Oh. Whoops. Crappy kill. OG says I like occasional regular coffee pot too. Same as I did for decades. This is a nice change. And he says better than to spend it in nonsense. Eventually that stimulus has to be paid somehow. I'm guessing extra taxes. More than likely. More than likely, especially here in Canada, Auntie. Especially here in Canada. Can guarantee there'll be some extra taxes. There were extra taxes coming in this year anyway, and next. Extra carbon tax. Whoops. They went out the window. I thought they were hiding. I knew somebody was in here. Mr. I says if you're going to do that, just institute a temporary UBI.
They deserve to die. Make them suffer like we did.
The basic income. Here we go, here we go.
Jesus Christ!
Oops. Went into guard mode. Goddamn pocket knives. OG said I did buy a Jawa for my channel. Brent always wants more Jawas. Nice. Speaking of Jawas, Brent. Wake up, Brent. Wake up, Brent. I missed him on his return to the digital pollution.
What happened?
But I'm glad to see him back, that's for sure. Where did he get another pocket knife? Please. Mr. Matthews says, OG, I really want to see this Jawa. Nice. And OG says, me too, Kathy, excited. Oh, you ordered it. Hopefully it shows up soon then, OG. Oh. Jenny's a hiding. Jenny's a hiding. Got off 2 hacks.
No matter what they do, you cannot die. You can never die.
Come back here. How does a character that's standing still have 2 pocket knives? Out the window. Wake up, Brent.
That's my Jason.
Oh, Shelly. Hello, Shelly.
Special toy.
Are there any environment kills in here? Why does Shelly have that much strength to break free? Are you kidding me? Shelly should be a wuss. Oh, it's Thomas. Thomas Jarvis.
Can never die.
Hit the door. Stick around, Shelly. Stick around.
That's my Jason.
Mr. Rice says they were also thinking of doing a 2,000 per month UBI and giving children 2,000 as well, up to 10,000 per month for each household. That's insane. Baby needs $2,000. Oh, I hear you, man. I hear you. I'm not in favor of a UBI for sure, or we call it a PBI here, personal basic income. I am not in favor of that. I understand people need help and support. I'm all for that, but not all the time.
Oh God!
Oh, Tommy. Give it a rest, bro. I think he's still in here. Mr. Matthews says, remember, Pete, if you get salty, the robots win. Damn robots. I don't want them to win. I thought he was still in here for sure. I'm on the verge of getting salty. These are bots. Jeez, I'm off my game tonight. Good thing I brought it last week with the 50th stream, because I am not on tonight right now. That's for sure.
God.
3 pocket knives, Brandon! 3 pocket knives!
Kill them.
Jabus! Well, at least I got him injured. But the guy walks faster than injured than I do normally. Mr. says GG, and Mr. Matthews says, I'd sure like to be given free money, but I doubt it's free. Also, where is it all coming from? Future taxes. Future taxes for people who pay taxes. Let's just give that kill. Do it. Do it. There we go. OG says tracking Jawa across country on Amazon. Nice. Mr. I says, I think a temporary UBI would be helpful. They should have done that from the door. And pocket knives on fleek. Alright. Who's left anyway? Tommy and Deborah. Deborah's probably hiding in a closet somewhere.
Don't let them.
I think I've already used Tommy's pocket knife up, I hope. Or I might get salty again. Whoa.
Please, no!
Nope. He had a pocket knife. Or he had a second one.
Them. Kill them.
How did he get that far away already? Jesus. Alright, let's just morph over here. Oh, I was gonna stab him in the head.
You know what you're doing.
God damn it, Tommy.
No matter what they do, you cannot die. You can never die.
Turn around, bro. There we go. Now, we missed some of the animation. Cut out. Screwdriver to the head. Mr. Rice says, all money is taxed because all paper money is debt, not equity, pretty
Make
much.
them suffer like
And the only reason it's really accepted is due to our belief in it and legal tender laws. That's not wrong, that's for sure. And OG says, true, That's right, it says the central banks create money out of nothing and then tax citizens and in the funny money they create. Or on the funny money they create. Well, for Trump's sake, hopefully he never suggests bringing the gold, putting back the gold standard. We all know how well that went the first time someone suggested that. Come on, Deborah, where are you? Not here. Is there a closet in that thing? I don't think there is, but I'll check it out. Mr. I says all of dollars are pretty much bad checks. Well, I do enjoy my bad checks, that's for sure. I enjoy what we have, even though you're not wrong about your approach on it. There she is. And that's Morph over there. And guaranteed she's hiding in a closet. Good old Deborah. And it had to be the cabin with the door on the other side. I was already in here. She was probably already hiding in this cabin at this point. Or I was already around here. Right there. Inti says we need the Bison dollar exchange more than ever. Exactly. Give me all those Bison dollars. Or Joker dollars.
die. Make them suffer like we.
Bison dollars and Joker dollars. Mr. Matthews says, well, hopefully the universal standard will.
Mommy, Jason. Come to mommy.
Oh, he was going to go with the Bison dollars as well. Back to the lobby. Just gonna find our way to the lobby, hopefully soon, and we can start another room. Oh, she says I want Joker dollars now, and Mr. S says that this isn't the first paper currency in the U.S. either. There was another that failed, known as the Continental. Mr. Matthews says, I was waiting for Inti to bring it up. It was the perfect opening, pretty much. And OG says, Confederate money flop too. Oh, yes. the Confederate currency. And he says, remember, every bison dollar will be worth 5 British pounds as soon as he kidnaps the Queen. I still need to go back and watch that. We've been talking about that for weeks now, and I still haven't had a chance to watch it. Watch that in the sequel, The Legend of Chun-Li. Snowdub! Snowdub says it's killing time. What's going on, Snowdub? Thanks for coming in, man. We haven't done much killing. I just finished a bot run. That's all I've done. Played 2 counselor runs. Haven't gotten as Jason yet, so it was a boring start to the stream. So I figured throw some bots in there to get some entertainment, because they were bad runs as counselors. We have Spud Knight, Bombada Get Out, the Great Red One, Kibizo Debolo, Susio Dan, Albert Taker, and Lambda Pi Lambda. Something like that. Something Lambda. Inti says if Bison kidnaps Meghan Markle, each Bison dollar will be devaluated to -5 British pounds. Good. Or good. Hopefully he does. Meghan Markle. They were living here for a while. I remember Harry and Meghan moved here to Canada for like 2 seconds. They're like, we're coming to Canada. Oh, by the way, we're moving to the United States. We're moving to Los Angeles to be celebrities. Because that's all she wanted to do. She just wants to be an actress. It's like... Oh. We have some copyrighted music in the room. That is not us. That's the part 7. We are Deborah again. People have their Jason thing on tonight, man. People have their Jason thing. Their spawn preference up.
Did anyone else get away?
Oh, we have a La Chapa dressed as George the Animal Steel, or King Kong Bundy. Sorry, King Kong Bundy. One old-timey wrestler or the other. No map. Really? Well, it's either they're really good or I'm not worried, because only really good players at Jason play part 7 because he's broken and really nerfed. So I'm hoping it's the latter. Mr. I said, if you want to understand the money system and the illusion of security, read a book called The Creature from Jekyll Island. Basically details the creation of the central bank. Gotcha. And he says the only valuables are natural resources. After me again? Really? Gonna have to put my baseball bat upside your head there. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this person doesn't know what they're doing. We might have a chance to escape. JEV says, hello, I'm here now. What's going on, JEV? Thanks for coming in. Good to see you again. We're just chilling out. Nope, you haven't missed much, that's for sure. After me again. Jeez, what do you have, a hard on for Deborah or something? Jeez. Easy, bro. Still outside. Finally with a map. Oh, I don't care if you break the windows. I'm not going out the windows.
Anyone out there, you have to come to Camp Crystal Lake. Bring a gun. Oh God, he's killing us. Help! Help!
And M says, yeah, the idea of currency is pretty weird to me when you think about it, so I tend not to worry about it too much. Same here. The two-seater. That's not going to help me. Oh, there's two people in there. Why would you stop if you don't have room? It's the two-seater. Go! Maybe they don't know that there's only two seats. And JV says, no problem and good to see you. Two, also, it looks like he wants you really bad. Really? The entire game. We've only been playing for a couple of minutes. He's been non-stop after me. It's like he knows me or something. Or he thinks that I'm the weak one. That's a bad mistake. Especially with Deborah. On me again. Not having much game luck tonight. And yes, JEV is joining us from Ireland along with Nerd. Now we have two. Two people from Ireland. Rockin' in Crystal Lake Fridays. Gone again. J-Man, I think it's time you just quit. I think we did get the first win because because they left. Because it was another really bad Jason. And then we got killed by I Suck at Jason. Which I should really change my name sometimes when I play as Jason. OG says we have two now. Sweet. Nerd says I live in the same country as Jason. Time to dress like Deborah then. Not this Deborah, no. Or not this Jason. Won't leave you alone. No, sorry, I don't have the fuse, but I've got the car keys. Mr. I says there's nothing weird about it at all. Knowledge is power, it's economics, but most don't want their dream world shattered. They'll complain about someone getting free money, but all money is debt. Snow says, it's still daylight out where I am for another hour, lol. Yeah, the sun just went down here, man. A little while ago, probably like an hour ago. It's definitely nice to see the summer sun extend into the evening. I'm liking that. The Straw says it's all free money because none of it has real backing. Anyways, back to the game. Oh yeah, man. Inti says, where's the real Crystal Lake geographically? It's supposed to be, well, the first movie was filmed in Blairstown, New Jersey. That's where the first Friday the 13th was. So technically, I think that's where it's supposed to be. Blairstown, New Jersey. Where's the gas? This person better have that gas. Somebody was carrying it. Somebody's running around. I know this Jason is bad, but come on, I want to drive the Monza. Got the keys. One of these dum-dums up here has the gas with them. Unless it's the person in the bottom cabin. Snowdub says that's true, New Jersey, that's why Manhattan was so close by. Exactly. Manhattan, British Columbia, all the same thing. The boat scenes, the Lazarus. I swear, somebody up here better not have that gas. Like, why? Are you trying to troll or something? Guiding the person with the gas. Oh, yeah. It's Monza time, hopefully. GV says, yeah, I live in the middle of nowhere where I live in Ireland. Mostly just trees everywhere. That's not the worst thing. Oh, cops have been called. And he says, I'd like to see Ireland someday. I hear that, man.
It worked. It actually worked.
Oops. Maybe I should concentrate on driving rather than trolling. OG says thus free money reduces the value of current money. The value of that money is thus reduced by the amount extra printed, but it's a boring subject. Exactly, OG, but it's much nicer to drive the Monza. Just out for a casual spin through Crystal Lake. One joystick. Or analog stick. Driving at the full car. It's time for a victory. That was a victory lap. Snowdub says watch the road. Pretty much. I was too busy honking the horn. But I figured since it was a bad Jason, there was really no rush. GV says I think you'd like Ireland. There are castles somewhere. I don't know where they are, but there are castles here. But I think you would like it here. Indy says maybe run into Warwick Davis's Leprechaun. If you don't take his gold, he's actually friendly. I want my gold. Now where's me gold? OG says Monza time, and Snowdub says woohoo, nice one. But it was nice to have one like that, but that was an easy run, because that Jason, like, I've had some bad runs as Jason, but even I'm not that bad. Jeez. We'll see what my next run is like, though. Shouldn't judge too much. Shouldn't judge too much. Mr. Matthews says, so Pete, is Gremlins 2 on your list? Batman, perhaps? Those are both further down the list. I could go forever. Like, the series could never end them. I could do as many as I wanted. I could do the entire library of movie-titled games or movie-based games. The sky is the limit until I run out of them. And then I'll just move to the 16-bit era, the 32, the 64, so on. So on and so forth. Just keep going up to PlayStation 4. Nurse says I live about less than 2 miles from the castle. Nerd. Using the Imperial system. Sheesh. What happened to metric? Even over here in Canada, we were versed well in it. OG says I'm convinced Nerd lives in a castle. This will be the one. This is it. That's not it. That's Roy. JV says there's a couple parts of the castle ruins behind my house because I live legit 3 miles away from the castle. Nice.
I know this, Jason. You'll be okay.
Oh God, what am I gonna do?
And Nerd says, well, I do have a dungeon. Whoa. They should really take those out of the game. Whoops. Stupid walkie-talkies. Nobody wants walkie-talkies. Unless you're in like a private match, but... M says there are a lot of really crap movie-based video games compared to the number of good ones. Yep. And that's all part of the journey, M. That's going to be all part of the journey. Good ones and bad ones. There is absolutely nothing here today. Jeez. Come on, Deborah.
Do it, Vanessa. Do it.
Do what? Wait a minute, I'm not Vanessa. Nerd says cool. OG says knew it. Mr. I says nice. Are we talking about Nerd's Castle or bad video movie games? JV says weird how there are barely any Ireland-based games. Mr. I said nerd, we are all coming over to hang out at your house. Ooey Bowl, we are looking at you. Oh, we know Ooey Bowl well. We have a friend who loves Ooey Bowl.
If you find it in here, let me know. Cause I can't
JV
find
says out of... oof, the irony, there was 13 people watching you play Friday the 13th. Nice, I like it. I like it. This guy talks way too much. Like, way too much. Oh, he's calling the cops. Good job. Thanks, bro. But just talk less. Mr. S says, dude, I made some video games you'd love to hate. That's what I'm doing, man. I'm going to do a ton of games that I like, and I'm going to do a ton of videos on games that I don't like. But like we were talking about when we first started the stream, Back to the Future, that I've been playing that game like non-stop pretty much this week. I didn't like it at first, but I'm kind of starting to like it. But I'm sure I'll go through phases with it, and I'll dislike it at times again. Ah, the joys of gaming. Nerd says it'll either be a farming simulator or things going boom. Oh boy, nerd. Christopher OYB is in the house and says, if you want to watch some BO3, watch my live. Well, thank you for coming in. Yeah, I'm having a big tea party, bud. Thanks for coming in, Christopher, but next time, please say hello before you plug your stream. Inti says, I remember a Droopy cartoon where he goes to Ireland. He ends up in a castle. Oh, I remember that one. When they go to, is that the European trip? I do remember that Peanuts cartoon. But I thought that was France. Could be a different one that I'm thinking of, though. Mr. I says, I admit they are guilty pleasure. You expect a movie to be so bad, you just enjoy them. And I just put a PS4 down there and a 16 screen with some iced coffees, and I'm good, nerd. Oh, in the dungeon. Sounds like a good plan. And Mr. Matthews says, Irish game, I think, like Pikmin would work, just with sheep instead of little plant dudes. Boom, easy money. Well, this Jason kind of sucks, so I'm going to run up to the top and look for the easy victory. JV says, nah, games that would be Irish-based. Would be a farming simulator, a game where stuff goes boom, like Nerd said. Alright. Yeah, we'll try this side, and if it's not the side, we'll run to the other side. OG says Nerd has that set up in every room in between PS3. Mr. Matthew says BO3. I think he's talking about Black Ops. Black Ops 3. But hey, if they want to pop in, as long as they leave a like. And I'm cool with people plugging stuff. I just prefer to, like, you know them first. Like Mega Jetty does occasionally. He plugs quite a bit, but I'm cool with it because he actually participates in the chat and when he comes in. Speaking of which, where is he? He should have joined us by now. Mr. I says, man, this 80 degrees weather isn't agreeing with me. I hear you, man. I am dying in here tonight. I've got the windows open and the fan on in the back. Hopefully it's not a distraction on the sound. But I don't have air conditioning in my place. I need to put the air conditioning in soon if this continues. Like, it had been so cold. It had been the coldest man record in like 100 years. And then today it like shot up and the humidity arrived. I'm like, no! It was so nice. Oh my god, there he is, Mega Jetty. What's going on? He says, guess who's back? Back again. I was just talking about you, man. Good to see you. And Mr. I says, oh, Don, have you played Area F2? I'm not familiar with that one. Let me Google it. Nope. Other side. JV says, back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. OG says 90 degrees here. It's getting to be that time of year, OG. It's getting to be that time of year. Goddamn two-seater. Two-seater's not gonna help me. Uh-oh. He was up here for a minute, but I think he might have been guarding his the cabin. Hopefully he's gone. That would suck dying against a Jason that this bad. Oh, he's there. He's guarding. Fucking... Oh, there's my second F-bomb. Not closing doors! Pet peeve. I'm over my limit of F-bombs. My self-imposed one limit. He barely tagged me, too. Mr. I says, same. I got my windows open, fan on, and a cooler going. The air is off. It's a mobile game. It's like Rainbow Six for mobile. Nice! That's pretty cool. OG says 90 to 100 for the next 5 months. Yikes. JEV says, I got some whiskey just now. That always works. Whiskey's always nice, man. A little bit of scotch, a little bit of whiskey. Anything malted? Mega Jitty says, yeah, I heard you. I hear you. Or I heard you. I just got in from work. Today was Mondo Bizarro. Last Friday it snowed. Today it was a sunny day at the beach before turning into a lightning storm. We had rain in the morning, Mega, and then like a sunny patch in the afternoon for like 5-6 hours. Well, so maybe like mid-morning to afternoon, but then in the evening it started raining again. I think it just stopped raining. Mr. I says, when I was drinking, I liked rum and wine. He went to go after the car. See you later, J-Man. Back-to-back escapes because we were playing against weaker Jasons. The best part. The best time. Mr. Matthew says, OG, yes, but it's a dry heat. I'm up here, it's the other end of the spectrum. It is so humid up here in the summertime. I've been down in the summer... well, to Vegas, but sometimes I think like I'd prefer the dry. It gets so humid up here. Mr. I says rum and coke was the shite. That's always a good choice, man. A little white rum or a little of the brown rum. A little bit of coke. I could do some of that right now. Could totally do that. And Inti says victory. Yeah, because we're run. Uh-oh, they're gonna break the car. The car is broken. The car is officially dead. Oh, she's wearing the sweater. And Mega says, I'm binge watching X-Men. The 90s animated series was my stepdad. I love that. I love that show. Mega Jetty. I was talking about that a couple weeks ago on the Bits and Pieces, is that the rumor of Mr. Sinister being in the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, with Bruce Campbell possibly playing Mr. Sinister. That's just a rumor, but if that happened, I would ask my pants. I would be in there in a second. I would love that. Mr. Sinister is awesome. JV, also, you know there are amateurs if they leave doors open. Right? Right? That is like my pet peeve of the century when it comes to this game. Just close the damn door. You don't have to lock it if you don't want to take the time to bar it. If you don't have that the buff on where you speed up, where you just like instantly put it down, perfectly fine. Just don't leave them open. I count on those being there. Inti says X-Men cartoon from the 90s is great. It really is, man. That's a great show. OG says dry heat in Houston. 100% humidity is in dry heat. There you go, OG. You know what I'm talking about. All humidity, man. Mr. I says it really is indeed. And the old Conan cartoon with the serpent men. Defenders of the Earth. Oh yeah, man.
Hey. We need a arma chingona.
I have a shotgun, not a machine gun.
No.
A machete, I think you mean.
Machete. Ooh.
Machete.
Yes.
Uh-oh. The door's open there, J-Man. And you have rage. Inti says, what was the deal with Mr. Sinister? He wanted something with Cyclops and Jean Grey, but it was never clear exactly. Yeah, you're right. I want to say he wanted to extract something from Jean Grey, but I can't exactly remember. I just remember him being my favorite part of that series. That and having Sabretooth in it. And Omega Red. The Omega Red episodes with Wolverine were the best.
Jason, Mother is talking to you. Put the weapon down and come to Mommy. That's a good boy. That's my Jason.
Mr. Matthews says, OG, I know I can't help but quote Hudson whenever I hear someone complain about how hot it is. And JV says, all Irish people here speak now. Uh-oh. Mr. I says, remember Spider-Man and his amazing friends? Yep, with Firestorm. With Iceman and Firestorm. I want to say it was Firestorm. But I do remember that. Firestar, thank you, Inti. Thank you. OG says, yeah, I know you better. Just automatic response. But that was a good show. Another victory. Another victory. Hopefully we get a run at Jason soon. Mr. Ice, it's the Firestar. Yep. That is it. At least we have a good group tonight that we're together. They're all together. Like, we're all together in the chat. The usuals. All the regulars are rocking out in the chat. And we've got a decent group going here. They're not the greatest. They're not the worst. They're not annoying AF. They're not driving people over. They're not doing things that trigger and make me salty. This is the perfect type of room for tonight. Mega Jetty says, my favorite 90s Spider-Man Spidey's episode was the two-parter that featured the X-Men. That was a good one. Definitely. Mr. I, there we go. There's some member berries for sure, OG. Robotech, Mr. I loved Robotech. GoBots were okay as well. Not as good as Transformers. But I loved Robotech. Robotech was my shiz. And later on, when I grew up a bit, Macross. I've got a review of Do You Remember Love on my... by far my favorite anime from the 80s. By far. Mr. I says original Transformers. Yep. The original Transformers. Up to the animated movie. And then after that, it was never the same. Never the same. Maybe because I was bitter from that point on. Mr. Matthews says, I think I might have liked the GoBots cartoon more than Transformers as a kid. GoBots had some good cartoons. And they had some good characters as well. It's just, I think Scooter killed it. I think Scooter killed that show. Where Bumblebee was annoying. Pretty annoying, but I could put up with him. Where Scooter, I think that was the guy's name. Really killed it. But Leader 1 was cool. And I remember the Jeep guy. And I remember I had the walker, like the carrier. It was like the base, the GoBot base. And I had the toy. I remember picking it up at a garage sale. Put the GoBots in the back of it. And the head turned around, you press the button. Fires. There we go. Mr. I says, Robotech was my show. Rick Hunter, yeah, man. And the Invid later on. The Zentradi and the Invid. Robotech, definitely. Rick Hunter, Hikaru, Ichigo. OG says, Decepticons retreat. And Mega Jetty says, today I had Dino and Francesco's pizza with pepperoni and sun-kissed orange soda. Nice. E.T., yes. I think we talked about it on a streamer before. Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends had an episode where they look for Hitler's gold. They find a giant swastika that points to the spot like Raiders of the Lost Ark. So I think that's where they were really going. They're really just ripping off Raiders of the Lost Ark. Mega Jetty says, what I liked most about those episodes was that even though it was Spider-Man, they put in the X-Men music and they got the same voice cast, making an authentic crossover. Agreed, man. Totally agree. Mr. I says, I hated to kill Prime off. I hear you, man. I will fully admit I cried in the theater. I'm not lying. But I was pretty young at the time, so. JVS says, I watch a YouTuber who's Irish and he calls himself the Gaelic Gladiator, or says he was born in the bogs of Ireland.
I
Nice.
gotta get out of here. Now!
Mr. I says, yeah, the Zentradi, the Giants. Yep. The Zeltrons. In the original Macross. Really? Man, Deborah is popular tonight. OG says, phone freezing. I will catch you. I will watch on big screen and try to chat later. Sounds good, man. Mr. I says, LOL, I could see you crying. Hey, man, it was an emotional moment. It was not expected for sure. Especially how they built up to it. They had this epic fight. He's like owning every Decepticon. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about. That was like, Megatron must be stopped no matter the cost. Of course, I didn't equate it because every Transformer series to that, no one ever died. Except maybe like Autobot X, Spike's robot. When Spike got in the accident, and Wheeljack built him that robot. But it was just a shocker. I was like, what? Especially after he wrecked like everyone. It's like, okay. Inti says, were the Zentradians the giants or were the Micronians tiny? Yes, Inti, yes. It's all a matter of perspective. The Micronians. You damn Micronians. Miria. It's all about Miria. It's no debate between Min-May or Lisa Hunter. Or Misa and Min-May. It's already settled. Miria. Boom. Done. Mega says, for the next X-Men movie, regardless of who makes it, we need the 90s theme brought back in it. Because the lack of it makes the movies feel like less X-Men. I'd be down for that. It'd be a good member berry to throw in there. Mr. I says, Micronians. Yes, that's the term. Yep. Inti says, Hot Rod fucked up. Sure did. And Inti says, Optimus had Megatron on the ropes until Hot Rod jumped in. Oh, yeah. Sure did. Here we go. We have the phone part. Let's find that phone box. Mr. I said, I love how Max Sterling married one of the Zentradi after she tried to kill him in Macross. Max Sterling was a badass. Sure was, man. Maximilian. As a kid, I didn't realize it, but now, like, after watching decades of anime, that dude did so much voice acting. The guy who voiced Max did a ridiculous amount of voice acting. I think he's still working. Speaking of Robotech in games, Mr. I, the Xbox Robotech Battlecry game. I never finished that damn thing. That game is so hard, even on the easy mode. I finished the other one, the one based on the new generation, or the next generation. Not the Masters, the one with the Invid. But that first game, way too hard. And he says, she was thick though, and Mr. I says, dude, I hated Hot Rod. I think we were supposed to hate him at first. And then we would grow to like him as he showed more maturity. I think he was supposed to resemble... I think the character was created to reflect the viewership at that time because we were starting to get a little bit older. That's where I think they were going with that. They just really fucked up. And I'm way out of F-bombs.
I need you to listen to me.
JV says, I owned a hatchet when I was younger. Mega Jetty says, even if they have the remix...
We need you here right
have to
now.
remix the theme. That theme defines the X-Men. The most badass moment it played was when they got their powers back and assaulted Sinister and his cronies. Yes! Yes, I remember that. Mr. I says the original Xbox. Yeah, there were 2 Robotech games on the original Xbox. They were on PlayStation as well. On PlayStation 2, but by that time, even though I had the PlayStation 2, I was totally sold on the Xbox, and that's pretty much all I was playing. But it's called Robotech Battle Cry, and I can't remember the game that the Next Generation was based on. I can see the cover. I want to say it's something fire. They have the cycles on the cover. When we take a break, when we get to a break in the game, I'll Google it. Mr. I says, yeah, she was a little alien. And then you would have the bridge bunnies, the 3, Vanessa, Sammy, and Kim? Yeah, Kim, Sammy, and Vanessa. And Claudia as well. Can't forget Claudia. And Fokker. Like, how can we talk about Robotech and not talk about Roy Fokker? That guy's a badass. Went out doing what he loved. Flying jets and womanizing. Mr. I says the Cyclones. Yeah, man. The Cyclones were the best part of that 3rd series. Fortress Mospida. I think that's what the series it was based on. Because Robotech... Macross was based on Macross, the Macross saga. Robotech Masters was based on Southern Cavalry and something Super Fortress Mospida. Super Dimensional Fortress Macross was the first one, but the 3rd one, something like that. That's where they took the anime and just voiced over. Inti says in the Savage Land episodes, yep. JV, I broke my nose climbing a tree and then I fell off it and broke my nose. Oh! Twice in the same tree? Yikes. Mr. I says the Cyclones and Alpha Fighters were so badass. Yep. They really were. The tech in that one was really good. You see, I like the storyline of what they used in the Masters and the Middle Saga, but it just wasn't there. And some of it just didn't fit to what the material they had to work with. You should, you love the Alpha Fighters, Mr. I. You should talk to one of our buddies in the community. He has his own channel. He does a stream on Wednesdays called The Digital Pollution. That's his YouTube channel. He loves Robotech as well and Macross. He collects all the things, all the fighters, the VFs. I used to have a couple of them back in the day. I do not anymore. It's something that I would definitely like to get, but they're so expensive now. So expensive. The Beta Fighters, yep. And GEV says, I like trains. Trains are cool. Uh-oh. Hopefully I left myself a window. I did not. Door's not locked. Johnny, what's going on? He says, hey, I'll just pop in during a quick break from work. Got a new self-business working from home, but gonna miss the stream and Joe Bob for a while. All good, man. Good to hear. Good to see you here. Good to hear you're doing well. If you're working from home on stuff. I have a pocket knife.
No!
Lock the door, bro. Lock the door. I'm not sure, Johnny. I'm not sure what he's rocking on the show tonight. That's right. I said, yeah, the Robotech Masters were pretty weak with Dana Sterling. Yep. Like, I didn't mind the story they wrote for it, but I don't think the anime that they used matched what they were trying to do. Some parts were successful, and some parts were, like, way off. It was just a little too much. Because there was no resolution at the end. Like, it's like, the spores got released, and that was it. That was it. It was way different than the end of Robotech. With the, Macross, I mean, with the SDF-1 getting blown up. And he says after Rick and Lisa get together, there's another season of Robotech, but you can tell it's not the same franchise. Oh yeah, exactly. The one that they co-created after yeah, I remember. That is not the Invid. Is it the Invid? I think it's called that. The Sentinels. Sentinels, that's what it's called. I remember reading those books. GAV says, Jason's coming for you, and its worst thing is, he is retro. I like retro Jason. Doesn't play very well, but I like it. And Jenny says, I get breaks every now and then. Nice. Alright, so let's check what Joe Bob's rocking tonight. Because I can put Shutter on. Not on the screen, but with the sound off. Oh, it's already 10 o'clock. We've escaped a ton of times, so I think it's time to go to... Just make sure I have the sound off. Because if I don't... Copyright strike. What? I do not recognize the movie. Time for Chad. It's Chad time. And he says they took something that vaguely resembled it. Pretty much, man. Pretty much. But nowhere near as bad as the movie. Robotech the movie, guys, that Canon made. Where they took, oh, what the hell was the name of that anime? It's not a bad anime on its own that they took it from. Since we're on a break waiting for them, I'm going to Google that. Megazone. Megazone 23, Part 1. That is not a bad anime if you watch the actual Japanese version of it. But jeebus. That is terrible. Because it's so edited down as well. It's like, they took in a completely different story like they normally did, and they edited it that it made absolutely no sense, and then tried to put a story over it. Mr. I says, I wanted Rick to give Lisa the business. She was such a snob. She was, but she had another side to her as well. I could, I didn't mind Misa or Lisa. Minmay had her ups and downs as well. A bit of a flake. Mr. Rice says the Invid were really good, though. The Invid were after the Robotech Masters. Remember, the spores attracted the Invid. Yep. The Regis. The Regis came. That's a good show with Lunk and the Kid and Lancer, the singing star. that may have been a cross-dresser, one of the first cross-dressers on North American television. That wasn't in a British sitcom. I'll preface that. JEV says, he messes with my mind when I play as him. And also bring out the Chad. The Chad is out. Time to rock it. Mutant Farm, yes. Mr. I says, remember the Shadow Fighters. Yep. Jason Voorhees. And Mr. I says, no, I meant the good business. JV says, when I play as Retro Jason, he messes with my mind. And Mega Jetty says, Cobra Kai, 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 Cobra Kai. I think that's enough. Never dies. And it's another Retro Jason. Oh, yes. The girl with the blonde hair.
What in the fuck is happening?
What was her name? The one that had the pocket knife. Just things everywhere. The game's so much easier now. As a counselor, just walk out. Here you go. Here's the first aid spray. Here's a pocket knife. You will survive for a bit. You will survive for a bit. GV says the Chad luck will hopefully be with us today, as it always is. Hopefully. I gotta say, I've had some pretty good luck as Deborah. We started off slow, but we really picked it up. But if we can continue as Chad and have the same level of success, if not better, then by all means, let's do it. Mr. I says, when I was a kid, I thought Lisa and the alien girl, Miria, was hot. I didn't like Min-Mei. Yeah, Min-Mei is not, like I said, she's kind of a ditz. And spoiled AF.
Hello? Hello? Oh, God, help us. Jason's real. Please help us.
Mega says, today I played some
Jason's
Battlefront
alive.
2 to try and get
Please
closer to the
help us.
mall's old master skin. I got 1997 out of 5,000 kills. Almost halfway there, man. Just another 503 and you shall be halfway there. Chad luck. Oh. Well, there's one. There's one game to leave quickly on a he quit. The person quit. Jesus. I was looking for something witty and I totally effed it up. GEV says, I have Cobra Kai never dies and also not Retro Jason again. Now I'm a see Retro Jason everywhere for 5 minutes. And Leech Bazagna is here. Greetings, Leech. Says, remember, kids, drugs can lead to problems with your health and you shouldn't do them. Weed doesn't count, though. It's perfectly safe. Inti says, I saw the latest Terminator on cable the other day. The LGBT 1000 was surprisingly the best part of the movie. The movie wasn't bad, but nothing I haven't seen before 1,000 times. Completely unnecessary. I have not seen it yet, Inti. I have not seen it. After I saw Gynesis, I'm in no rush to see it. Sorry, guys. I had to turn the fan towards me. Hopefully that doesn't change the sound because it is getting warm in here. Mr. Matthews says, I've actually heard it isn't the worst thing. Pretty much the same people say about ROS. And Mega Jetty says, supposedly, though, they are going to release a patch fixing the number so you can get in less time. Hopefully. They've been meaning to do that for a while. A Jason quit doesn't count in my book. Well, we survived. Technically. And JEV says, when I look at Retro Jason, I see Retro Jason for 5 minutes for some reason. It's all that purple, I think. Just burns the retinas. Rook! There we go! Yes, that's it. Rook. That was the blind girl's name. Mr. Matthews says, what's the game, Pete? Actually, I put it on for Johnny. Because if we were talking about it in the Discord earlier in the week, Tony Hawk, I broke out Tony Hawk Underground. So I started the game, and I let it play the demo, but it went straight into the game. And I kept dying. I'm like, oh shit, it doesn't have like an auto play, so there is no repetitive thing. So I'm actually in a game right now, but I'm not playing. But I was able, somehow, I don't know if it's a glitch or perfect moment, I was able to get to a point in the game where I'm doing like up and down on a pipe. Just over and over again. And the character's not falling. It's just doing it itself. It's perfect. It's like it's animated, but it's not me. The blonde girl, yes. JEV says, I'm eating some pork rinds with some whiskey. Nice. Very nice.
Oh God, what am I gonna do?
Mega says, I made a Superman the first Marvel issue vid the other day. I'll be getting ready to make my Terminator and Resident Evil fan vid series that will be more respectful to both franchises than the movies. Nice. Alright, Chad, let's do this. Again. Mr. says, remember Chiron. How can I not, man? Chiron was the best of the Zentrades. Or Glomzen, I think his character was in Macross. But yeah, that character was great. Chiron the Backstabber. I used to read those books all the time too, man.
Who is that?
I still have the majority of them. I don't have all of them anymore, but I used to have the entire series up through the Next Generation. And now it's getting a hold of those things. I remember seeing, before everything that has happened, I remember going to the flea market and seeing the comics. I remember the Robotech Macross Saga comics. I used to collect them. I didn't have them all, but then people were reselling them for like ridiculous price. I'm like, oh. Why did I not continue to collect these? But back then, you know, there were so many good comic books you could choose from. It's hard to make a decision to pick and choose which one you were going to buy.
Oh God, help us. Jason's real. Please help us. Jason's alive. Please help us.
Mr. I says, I always wanted Robotech comics. I never owned one. I have a handful of them. I have one that has a couple 3D pages as well. It's pretty sweet. Oh, we're on the Jarvis house. Jeebus. Good thing I'm Chad. There's a lot of running. Mr. says, I had every other comic though. I hear you. That's what I'm saying, man. There were so many comics then to choose from. And it wouldn't, I think it was also that it wouldn't always be in the comic shops. Uh-oh. That's not Chad luck. Mega says basically it starts like the Sarah Connor Chronicles pilot episode with Sarah and John leaving LA in 1998 and heading east to the Raccoon City, leading to a series of events that reshape the future war. Nice. Mr. I says, remember the Robotech toys. Oh, I remember them, man. I remember them. I remember wanting them all. the corny 80s commercials. Hey man, 80s commercials were the best. 80s and 90s commercials were awesome. JV says pop quiz. What is Ireland mostly like? I'm not sure. Farm simulator, like we were talking about earlier. I think it says, but it's more like the movies than the Sarah Connor Chronicles. Sarah ditches her T2 look to try and reconnect with T1 self-style, still maintaining your badass self. And Mr. I says, dude, remember Tron? Oh yeah, man. Talking about the movie with Jeff Bridges. Now, let's rest up a bit and we'll go put the gas in the car. Whoops. Running into the side of the house. Because I was reading the chat with one eye and running with the other eye. No! That's not Chad luck as well. Cobra Kai never dies. Double clicked both buttons.
I think I put that on right.
I really have to switch to start with a med kit on Chad rather than that damn baseball bat. I used to have that for when the game didn't have many baseball bats, then another everywhere again. Yeah, we might be in trouble. Alright, let's go up this way. Try to go to the big house to look for some medicine. And check the Jarvis house in the bathroom. Spud Knight is Jason. I'm just going to turn my light off, so... Mega says, also the Arnie Terminator comes back. Instead of Feminator, that 1 minute seems like she's learned what it means to be human, all day to backpack into a backpedal back into a dumb robot. Sweet. Chadlock. Chadlock works again. Where is everybody? Let's go check down here for a better weapon. We have the police called. Let's rest for a minute and catch up with the chat. JV says trees, farms, cabins, and villages with castles remains. With castle remains. Nice. Mr. I says Tron was so before its time. It really was. And that was made by Disney. That's when Disney took chances. JV says that is what Ireland is like. Mega Jetty says also there's a bad Arnie Terminator again to recapture the T1 horror feel. Nice. Oh, Teddy. Good old teddy bear. Yeah, I know. I did everything that I was complaining about before. Turn it off, or opening the door, not closing it. But this Jason is either AFK or is awful. Oh, he is here. Oh yeah, we saw him. We saw him kill the power, so he is around. Now there's the car keys. Just need to find that battery. Oh, and a baseball bat. I'll take that. Mr. I says true when they were innovative. Yep, they were at that time, and they had a lot of good stuff. I remember that around that time, that's when they started to re-release the animated movies. They're classics in the theater. I remember going to, really young, as a kid to see that. Scotty, what's up, man? Says, hail chat. And JV says, I live in the middle of the woods with no civilization for 40 miles all around. Crazy, man. Oh, they're going to the boat. Can a brother get a battery? I'm gonna, yeah. We've had some pretty good luck tonight, so I'm gonna chance it and go check the cabins at the bottom for the battery. Maybe not. Let's go this way. We shall go this way. Oh, he has been busy. He just hasn't been able to close any deals. It's always good to be on this road anyway if you're waiting for the cops. Nope, the boat is leaving. So you can reach both sides. Wow, he's actually broken every door around here, so he's thorough, we'll give him that. Mega says, funny thing, I've never saw Tron nor Tron Legacy. Should check both out, man. First Tron movie's great. Mr. I says, this heat really needs to go. I'm trying not to turn on the air. Right? It's a little early for it to be this warm. Yeah, no battery around here. Hopefully we have the Chad luck and the cops show up down below here. Down below from where we are currently. JV says it's not really hot where I am. Uh-oh. Running into a wall here. We did not get Chad luck. I would not call that Chad luck. I'm going to check over here for the battery. While he's busy with other people. Like I said, I do know that a Tron-style samurai helped inspire Blue Shogun. Nice. Nope.
No!
Oh, come on.
You want some more? Fuck! No, stop! Damn it, just die!
God damn it, I don't have any healing. Chad's gonna die, guys. What a hacker. What a hacker. Mr. I says, ever see a movie called Dreamscape? That sounds familiar. It's just...
Got them.
Nope. I can't believe I died. I was the one person to get killed. Jeebus. What a hacker.
Tommy.
Well, there's two.
Shoot him.
Yes, I thought so. I thought it was that movie. I do remember that movie. With Dennis Quaid and Max von Sydow. For some reason, I was thinking of Inner Space. Do you guys remember that one? I think that's Scott Bakula. Mr. Matthews says, with the weird snake monster, yes.
Tommy jackass.
Mr. I says, Dennis Quaid and that little ugly dude from the Warriors. Oh yeah, what's his name? The guy who played Warriors come out to play. That dude, I think. JV says, gotta go. My computer needs to charge. See you soon. Sounds good, JV. Thanks for stopping by. We should be on for a bit longer if you charge up. But I'll talk to you soon. Either way. We'll be on for another hour, probably, our usual. I knew it. Dennis Quaid was Inner Space. I knew it. Wasn't Bakula. That's why I was thinking it. Or was it both of them? Who was in Inner Space?
Couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you.
Well, at least he got 3 kills.
Shut up, no not.
Playing. Martin Short. That's who's with him. Dennis Quaid and Martin Short. I thought it was Bakula and Martin Short. And Robert Picardo. Nice. We've talked about him many times here on the stream. Picardo's a great character actor. Probably the best character in Voyager, the Doctor. With the bottles on his finger, right, Mr. I? And Mr. Matthew says, and Meg Ryan, I think. Well, now that we're in a stop, let's check it out. Joe Dante. It was a Joe Dante film. Let's see who was in the cast. Meg Ryan, yep. Dennis Quaid, Martin Short, Meg Ryan, Kevin McCarthy, Fiona Lewis, Robert Picardo, Vernon Wells, Henry Gibson, Wendy Shaw. Oh yeah, she was in The Burbs. That's where I know the name. She was in The Burbs, and she's also the voice of... I'm blanking. The wife in American Dad. Mega says, I'll also be having the Terminator Resistance character as a canon in my Terminator and Resident Evil crossover. It ties into the events of the story. And then she says, Inner Space is a good movie. I remember that one being a good one too. Francine. Jeebus. Can't believe it took me that long. Mr. Matthews says Joe Dante uses a lot of the same people. Inti says Robert Picardo is the cowboy. Mr. I says, remember the last Starfighter? Yep, I do. Waiting a lot for games tonight. The Lost Boys as well. Mr. I, that was another good one. Mr. I says, back when vampire movies were good. What do you mean? Current day vampire movies, or ones made in the last 10 years, are good. I think Twilight's been made. It was made in the last 10 years. Maybe a little. Yeah, I want to say it was like early 2010s. Man, we're waiting a lot. I think it's time for another bot run. Let's go. Higgins Havens. Fright Night, yes, I think we were talking about that here last week with Mr. I and Inti. Fright Night's a great movie. Chris Sarandon, Amanda Burse, and Roddy McDowell. That's right, says 30 Days of Night was good though. I remember Daybreakers being pretty good as well.
They're out there, Jason. Find them and get your revenge.
Mr. I says, oh, Friday is a classic. And Mr. I. Mr. Matthews says, we were. I just couldn't resist myself getting on the fun since we were talking about 80s vampire movies. Oh, yeah, man. And Inti says, Daybreakers is good. It is, man. I saw that one in the theaters. Says Fright Night is one of my favorites for sure. Whoop. Are they jumping in or staying? Oh, there's two of them. That's why.
Get up, Jason. Find them. Kill them.
Because I saw flashlights going back and forth. I'm like, what? What is going on here? Let's break down the door first before we leave. Mr. I says, Insidious was creepy as hell too. That made me... Movie has me closing my closets at night. Oh yeah, man. That's when you know you've seen a good horror movie. When you're like checking around things. You're like, well, let's just make sure that's secure for the evening. Yes, I was just thinking about that movie when you said it. It was the Sharon Brannigan for that moment. Also, the Monster Squad. The Home Alone of Halloween movies. Good way to put it. But that's a great one. Wolfman has nerds. I remember when they blew the Wolfman up with like the dynamite. Mr. I said I actually like the Blair Witch Project, the original one, how they marketed it. Yeah, man. The original one was pretty decent. It's just that the idea was successful, so literally everybody copied it. But I remember seeing that in the theater with my sister. Who's repairing power?
From them, Jason. Don't let them.
Mr. Matthews says those monsters looked awesome. They did, man. All the monsters and the creature. I think we've talked about that before here, but they all did.
Don't stop, Jason.
They did a great job respecting
Make them suffer like
the universal creatures.
Jason.
NT says I haven't seen Monster Squad for like 25 years. You should watch it again. M's right. It holds up very well. I watched it not this year, but 2 Halloweens ago. It's a great one. I should break that out again soon. If only there wasn't like an
That's my
Ocean NES game based on the Monster Squad, that'd be a great one.
special boy.
But that movie ties in perfectly to what we were talking about earlier, Mr. I and Robotech and Inti as well. Because I remember the little kid where is it the Mummy? Yeah, it's the Mummy. It is in his closet. He's got Robotech everything. I remember he had the SDF-1 toy on the shelf. I was like, the fuck? This kid has the SDF-1 toy? Of course, I didn't realize it as a kid watching it. It was a movie.
Find them. Kill them.
I need to get around to that box before they try to call the cops. And he says, hey, I've never seen that kill against the bar door. Oh, that's like the heads crush? I've never seen it on the barn door like that. But I think it's similar to the one where you can like push a person's head against the wall. I've seen it occasionally in houses. I wanted to get to the water pump, but she would have probably broke free. Really? God damn it, Mitch. What are you doing, bud?
Jason, my boy. Do you know what your gift is?
I think there's someone still in the cabin behind us.
You cannot die. You can never die.
Like, they're not showing a signal, but I see a flashlight. So it's a stealth character. Vanessa, really? Caught on the tree. Yeah, we'll never make it to the fire. Not with Vanessa. Maybe. Into the campfire.
That's my boy. Hunt them down and make them pay.
What are they repairing now? The car battery? What are you doing, Victoria? Mega says, I came up with my own version of Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat,
Can never die.
WWE, and Roadhouse. Within my Blue Shogun series, I call it World Class Bouncer. Nice. Mr. I says, I think I'm going to binge watch Dark Shadows this weekend. Nice! Do it, man. She's hiding somewhere. She was in this cabin a minute ago. Haha, successfully hid. And you're not going out the window, Jenny.
Find them.
No.
Kill them.
So I think Veronica's right here, or Victoria. No. I was wrong. Is there a second closet in here? Because she was right here, unless she jumped at the window and my sense didn't pick her up running. Yeah, she might have left. Because she wouldn't have doubled back in time. She'd either be in the closet or under on one of these beds. Mr. I says, man, I miss 80s campy horror. Oh yeah, man. Like sleepaway camps. The sleepaway camps were great for that. Just really bad, cheesy, campy stuff. Nope. She must have left. Stupid sense not working. I blame the sense. The lack of sense. Mega says, are you playing against the bots? I stepped away for a moment, so I don't know. Yep, it is the bots again. There's some bad players, but no one is that bad. That just stands right there.
Don't stop, Jason. They deserve to die. Make them suffer like we did.
Come here, Victoria.
Take you from me, Jason. Don't
Oh, Victoria. Why, Victoria? Why? It'll be okay, Victoria. It'll be quite alright. Oh, it's Mitch. Mitch! How you doing, dude? Mr. Matthews says, noticeable lack of douchebag players tonight. Right? The group we were in weren't the greatest, but they weren't, none of them was really, like one guy was kind of annoying, but I wouldn't call him a DB. That's for sure. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Oops. Oh, somebody's in one of these closets. Way to go, bro. Don't breathe.
Don't stop, Jason. They
What was that movie, The
deserve to
Slugs,
die.
that reanimated
Make
dead
them
bodies?
suffer like we
Yes. Slither. Hey, Mega Jetty. Shraggy? Well, I don't know, Scoob. Who do we got left? Oh, God. One person. Guaranteed to be hiding. We're gonna have to wait till Rage. Mr. I says it was an 80s teen horror movie and there was an undead axe murderer too. And Mr. Matthews says, I think Johnny was talking about it recently. Oh yes, Slither. And Mega says, gotta love playing against non-DB players. Uh-huh. Mr. I says, no, this is an 80s film, so it's not Slither. Gotcha. We'll figure it out, or we can Google it. After we find Tiffany, wherever she may be. Hiding somewhere. Mega says, my stepdad and I watched Ghostbusters yesterday, and he was glad to hear the original voice of Shaggy in it. Oh yeah, he's the voice of like the radio DJ, like the news announcer about what's going on, isn't he? Night of the Creeps, that's it, Inty. Thank you. Well, I doubt somebody's going to be hiding in a cabin that has the door unlocked, but you never know. You just never know. You got to check these things. That's the life of playing against bots. You gotta check everything. Alright. Where are you, Deborah? Or not Deborah, sorry. Tiffany. So let's go over to this side then, if she's not that way. Alright, let's check over here. There she is. That's it, Tiffany. We need to get back to Chad. Nope. Guaranteed in the closet.
They deserve to die, Jason. Make them suffer. Come to mommy, Jason. Come to mommy.
All right. All right. We'll get back to a quick play. Sorry, guys. Just dealing with something.
I'm pretty happy.
Sorry, guys. I will be right back.
Feelings are hurt. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna cry? Are you gonna shit your pants? Are you gonna come a little maybe? Hey Cole, your mom counts. So does your dad. I swing both ways.
Call. Diamond is a
know, we're having fun with Cole here. This was fun.
Yeah.
Wow. Took a left turn right here.
Too late now. We gotta stay.
I don't know what we're gonna do. I guess maybe we pick up somebody. Oh yeah.
What in the fuck is happening?